Welcome back to the Real Friends podcast. We have a very special episode for you guys tonight. We have our friend Chad for Horror from TikTok on with us. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? What's up, Alex? Yeah, man, I'm super excited to be here. When you reached out, I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, we've both found that TikTok's been a fun place to connect with the film community. So, I'm sure you guys have listened to our interview we had with Gil Bronco not too long ago, and we're just gonna keep it rolling on TikTok. Anybody we can talk to, we will. So, we love talking about movies, and we had talked a little bit about talking about some found footage movies. If you can't tell from his name, he's really into horror movies, so we're gonna talk about those. But, let's talk about you a little bit first, man. Like, what kind of content are you putting out there? What can people find on your page?
Yeah, like I've been obsessed with horror movies since I was a little kid. Um, I was that like weird kid, Like the first movie I ever watched was Child's Play, and I was 5, and I loved it. Like I would answer the phone and be like, you know. Chucky wants to play and little kid voice and I just my parents did not care what I was watching, which is awesome because I turned out perfect. But I yeah, it's just been a huge passion, and I also do stand up out here in LA, so I like to mix my horror channel with comedy. I have some serious stuff on there too, but mostly I'm making fun of Zach Baggins, which I have to say, even though I make fun of him, like I'm still a huge fan of Ghost Adventures, and
Sure.
I want to check out his haunted museum in Las Vegas, but I give him a lot of shit. But yeah, I do reviews. I just did a if Ghostface called Peter Griffin video using like AI voices and stuff. Yeah, I just try to have fun with it. Life's too short, and um, yeah, and then one day, hopefully, I'm writing and directing my own horror movies. So that's kind of like the game plan.
Right on, man. That's awesome. It's horror is an awesome genre, right? Like you think about, back in the day, right? Like horror actresses and actors were on the same level as like porn stars, right? Like that was kind of the line of like that's what it
Hmm.
was. And now you look at the horror genre, and most of our actors came up through horror. Like especially independent horror, we're getting some of these insanely talented people, and they cut their teeth in the horror industry. So.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully one day, like the Academy Awards will, take it serious.
Yeah.
Because it's a shame that they don't. Um,
We got our
but yeah,
first taste they finally did last year with The Substance. The Substance finally got its flowers. I was pushing for that for Best Picture. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I was hoping it would, but it still won at least one award. So,
yeah. But after what was that chick's name? For the other one that won, Aranda or no, starts with the A. She was in Scream 5. She's one of the killers.
oh,
It was that
yeah.
Russian movie. But dude, after seeing that, like I fell in love with her. So I wasn't mad that Substance lost. But
Yeah.
yeah, and a couple years before,
Oh,
I
Honora. You're talking about
no,
Honora.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, you know, um, Jordan Peele won Best Script for Get Out, which was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day it'll take it serious. I mean, and two, like horror movies in the industry are the biggest like markup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're cheap to make and they
Yep.
can make tons of money. And I will say this too, being on TikTok and being on YouTube, like the horror community, we're so tight.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Just friendly and welcoming, and dude, I absolutely love it. And then too, when you find a true horror fan, you can just like nerd out. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I will say this: I hate when I'm like, I don't know, let's say I'm out and about and I see like a guy in a t-shirt or whatever, and I start talking to him, and they don't know anything, and I'm like, oh man, like you're a poser. You're supposed to be obsessed like I am.
Yeah.
No. uh, but yeah, dude, I mean, like I said, horror movies have been like my whole life since I was a little kid for sure.
Yeah, I love the low budget aspect of it too because that like a lot of horror movies are completely funded by their own directors. Like you don't get a whole lot of people investing in them at first. But you look at a movie like Terrifier, right? Like the first Terrifier, super low budget. It wasn't that great. It was good, right? But what they did is they made so much money from Terrifier that they were able to just jack up Terrifier 2 and 3, and now Art the Clown is a phenomenon that everyone knows
Yeah.
and loves.
Uh he's the most terrifying like horror villain out there, dude. I
Yeah.
like he would be the last person I would want to like run into, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're totally right. Like the first one is, I mean, it's okay, you
Yeah.
know, but yeah, because it did so well. Like you said, like yeah, they were able to make two, and then two was good, but three was like amazing. Almost too much gore for me, and I watch that stuff all the time.
Almost, yeah. Like the
Yeah, but I
bathtub.
was
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the theater eating popcorn and nachos, and I'm like, I don't know, if, like I'm not even hungry anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's how I
But
felt the
but
first time I watched Hostel. Like the first time I watched
oh
Hostel, my dad like made us raviolis or something, and I was like,
yeah,
ah man, I don't know.
yeah, dude, that scene in there when he cuts his Achilles heel, was it? I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
dude, that sticks with me. I still randomly will think about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that
that's a
movie came
great
out,
movie.
I think, in like 2006 or something, like a long time ago for sure.
Yeah, and that was who wrote and directed that?
Eli Roth.
Yes, and he's
Yeah,
another badass too, and
yeah.
he like loves horror movies for sure.
Yeah, I
Um,
think the coolest thing, like one of the movies I want to talk about tonight, I don't love the movie, but I love some of the things they did. And that's how I feel about his movie he made called Green Inferno.
oh yeah,
That's the one where he filmed a tribe that had never seen a camera before, like deep in the
hmm
Amazon, right? Like that's gotta be
yeah,
scary, dude, because they're like in the movie they're cannibals, right? And it's super graphic, super gory, and you gotta be concerned. Like that movie got delayed so many times because they didn't know how safe they were gonna be in that community, man.
yeah, yeah. That would be absolutely terrifying for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did another one too about just kind of putting pieces together where a couple filmmakers went to like this isolated island, and it was like this church cult, and
Oh,
that was pretty terrifying too. Uh,
nice.
but yeah, I think he knows too. It's just like, hey, I can make a cheap film and make lots and lots of money. You know, because
Yeah.
us horror fans, like even I will go to the theater and watch a horror movie when like I know like everyone said that it's shit. You know,
Yeah.
I'll still go and be like, dude, I gotta show support. You
Yeah.
know, and sometimes I don't. I'm like, why did I just waste an hour and a half of my life? But just like I just have to,
Yeah.
I
Well, and
guess.
we talk about it all the time, right? Like it's super important that anything you like and enjoy doing, you need to support it because like, my one buddy on the Forest Film Club podcast, like I'm on that one as well. And that's been established for a little while. That's how I got into podcasting was talking to those guys.
Okay.
Um, and he's obsessed with dinosaurs, right? Dinosaur movies. And so, like, Jurassic Park is really the only taste of dinosaurs we get, right?
Hmm.
So that movie with Adam Driver called 66 came out a couple years ago, and it was a dinosaur movie, not Jurassic Park. So he went to see it, and it's crap. It's not a good
Yeah, so
movie.
I heard. Yeah,
Yeah, but if you go and show like the studios like, hey, we like dinosaur movies, they'll make other ones. Like, and
hmm
that's the biggest thing about it. And we not even kind of we are in a horror renaissance. We're getting some of the best horror we've gotten since the 80s.
for sure. I agree. Yeah, and the
So,
'80s was like, I mean, I was born in '86, but um, yeah, that's my favorite like decade of horror for sure. Like
yeah.
if I'm on Tubi and looking at the cover or reading the description, I'm like, this movie's gonna be shit. I'm like, I don't care. It came out in the
Yeah.
'80s. I'm watching it. You know.
Yeah.
But see, and the beautiful thing about the '80s too, it wasn't like 10 movies, right? I mean,
Right.
sure they had franchises, but they weren't scared to roll out like new ideas, right?
Yep.
Or take a chance on, something that, they don't know how it's going to turn out.
Right.
And that's what's beautiful. And I think too, like you were saying, like their Hollywood is finally starting to kind of do that, or like independent filmmakers are just like, hey, like I'll, raise money myself. I
Yep.
want this movie to be made, and it's like a fresh idea.
Yeah. And we've got both, right? Because horror is so low budget. Well, like we talked about with Terrifier, think about the 80s and what you said there weren't a lot of like sequels and stuff, but that's when franchises started. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, low budget. Now there's 10 of them, you know.
Hmm.
John Carpenter's Halloween, low budget, and that was bold because that was a slasher film made with zero blood. And it
Yeah.
was captivating, you know, Leprechaun, things like that. Like all these movies that because they made a lot of money, can make so many. And then, you know, it's not the 80s, but like Final Destination. Like we just had the seventh Final Destination come out, and it was arguably the best one because we've like just found these ideas that work so well. And with Final Destination, it's kind of cookie cutter. You can group of people. They survive something they weren't supposed to, and then they die. You know, like.
Hmm.
But what's cool now is, despite it being a sequel, they changed things, right? Like they took this idea and they added nuance to it, and that's what we like. Um,
Hmm.
but there's
Yeah,
so
like
many original horror movies out now too, dude, and it's awesome.
yeah, for sure. And like the beautiful thing about moving to LA is I actually got to see the Final Destination Bloodlines um 7 months ago. Um
Nice.
yeah, like because they have private screenings, so
Sure.
it was so cool. And then to piggyback off you, like um yeah, so many franchises now. My favorite, hands down, is the Halloween franchise.
Sure.
And I loved um, Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. Like I waited my whole life for a movie like that.
That might be the best Halloween besides John Carpenter's, like the original.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. I mean, Michael Myers loose on Halloween in the neighborhood, like yes. But I want to get mad at, well, I am mad at Halloween Ends,
Okay.
but I do respect that David Gordon Green, he tried to do something completely different with
Hmm.
Halloween Ends. And I've read in interviews that he's mad at himself for doing that. But at the end of the day, when I really, look at it, and it's like, kudos to him for, like I said, trying to do something completely different, even though it pissed me off. And I would honestly, like, any normal person would have been like, dude, who cares? But like, I hold that franchise, close to my heart.
It's
And
up
I
here,
was just
yeah.
like, dude, this isn't Michael Myers. Like, but like I said, he tried to do something different, and I salute him for that because it's like the Scream franchises. It's like the same thing has been happening for all six movies, and I just beg them to do something different. You
Yeah.
know, because
Just a
like not
little
only
bit, you know?
yeah, just a little bit, because not even like it's not just Scream now. Clown in the Cornfield. They're
Yeah.
like, who's the killer? I know what you did last summer. You know what I mean? Like all these movies are copying them and just like, dude, just do something a little different. You
Yeah.
know, I'll even give them some ideas for free. It's just like maybe have like killers not revealed at the end, right? And
Hmm.
then they can have, reveal that in the next movie.
Yeah.
Or like have two groups of killers kind of not just, going after Sydney and all them, but like each other. Just please, for the love of God. I mean, like we said, I'll still go, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
like, man, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the nice part. Like, you know, people talk about so many sequels and things like that. Like horror specifically, every year we're getting so many original ideas that it's cool. Like to see both sides, but yeah, just give me a little something different. No, your complaints about Halloween Ends is how I feel about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
Mm,
Because, like I said, like the whole thing why I love John Carpenter so much is there's no blood at all. I love horror movies, so blood and gore don't bother me. But when it's all the movie is for like no reason, that bugs me. That's kind of how I felt about the Rob Zombie ones.
yeah. Like I remember my first viewing, I've always hated Halloween too. But Halloween, like my first viewing, I was like, hell yeah. But now when I rewatch it, like that first half, I'm like, dude, it's like horrendous.
It's a
You know,
snooze fest, yeah.
yeah, I mean maybe if they had like a better actor for the kid, I guess. But
Maybe.
I mean the second half is I think it's awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude. But honestly, I like Rob Zombie more than I don't.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like a lot of his stuff, like Devil's Rejects and like those, like they're really, really cool.
yeah. Like yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses is in my top 10 favorite movies for sure. But honestly though, if I had to pick like how is gonna die, out of everything, right? I would I would be like, okay, Dr. Satan can take me out. Yeah, for real.
That's a good episode we should think about is, if you had to die in a certain horror movie, what would you pick and how would it
Yeah, dude. Or
happen?
like I always wanted to be a part. I hope the world ends with a zombie apocalypse for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but probably not. Like
Yeah, I don't
I'm gonna be hopeful though.
yeah, I did when was it 2012 the Mayan calendar was ending. I remember like, what the morning of I walked outside and I made sure to have a shotgun loaded just in case.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, see, you live in Pennsylvania, so like you could do stuff like that.
Oh
In
yeah.
LA, like, oh no, dude.
Yeah, no chance.
It's a
Yeah,
wrap.
I'm surrounded by cornfields. Like if this is the middle of
Yeah.
the day, you'd hear tractors running.
Oh, that's
But
that's kind of cool. You ever see anything weird out there? Like, the cornfields and just woods and all that?
so I'm actually writing a screenplay about something I saw one night. So we could talk about that a little bit. So there's a graveyard right up the street from my house, and
Awesome.
I always walk my dog up to this graveyard, and there's like I have friends whose family members have lived in this little village their entire life. There's like 10 houses in the village I live in. Like there's
Oh, nice.
nobody. But
Yeah.
they're all real close together because I think when they built this town, they were building it around the church to keep them safe from like Native American attacks because we have, a ton of Native population that was here.
Okay.
And so a lot of my friends, their ancestors fought in the Civil War and they're buried in this graveyard. So anyhow, I'm walking my dog up there one night. It's like 2 a.m. I'm very high. And I hear this like scraping across the ground and footsteps. And I was like, what is
Nice.
happening? And I don't see anything, right? So I'm like, maybe I'm just really, really high and it's my dog wagging his tail. I don't know. And I look up and there's this like dark silhouette figure walking up the road dragging something. And he's got like a big brimmed hat on, and he
Nice.
he gets up to us, and it was an Amish dude at like 2 in the morning, like dragging one of those like scythes, like clown or from Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Um, and didn't acknowledge us, didn't look at us, just kept on his way. He was dirty. He had like a little blood on his pants or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm writing a screenplay, and he's Axe Breaker. He's an Amish hitman. So like the Amish
Heck yeah,
boogeyman.
dude. That sounds awesome.
So, yeah, that's why. And then we have like I'm working on like a short film about there's a car that drives around our little like is a bigger town close to me like 10 minutes away every night around midnight blaring church hymns with its windows down and driving really slowly through towns. Kind of like the beginning, we were talking about Get Out, kind of like the beginning of
Yeah.
that when they're, yeah. So writing about there's
Wow.
some kind of kidnapper, serial killer thing going on. So
Or
yeah, there's
or
some
even worse, they'll stop you and be like, do you have a second to talk about Jesus Christ?
yeah, that happens a lot. We used to have a Mormon church close to here, and that was every couple days.
Oh man, I would go crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so but and the reason too I love horror is because there's so many subgenres. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you want to watch like an action packed, if you want to watch, a love story, slash whatever, you can find it in horror.
Yeah.
But I would say out of like all the subgenres, like I probably watch more like found footage horror
Yeah.
movies. Um, and I think just because it seems like it's more real,
Hmm.
and I think too, if you're, the make those movies, it doesn't cost much. You know what I
Right.
mean? We already talked about like horror is kind of cheap to make, but especially
Yeah.
like found footage. But when you can do it right, to me, it's just like wow, like it's impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
100%.
yeah, and that's definitely like a goal of mine to make like an awesome found footage. But
You can
a
even
lot
do
of people
that
think,
anymore. You can do that with a cell phone. Like that could be an awesome found footage. Like, one of the ones I want to talk about is Cloverfield.
oh
Like
heck yeah,
I feel like that's peak found footage, right? And I feel like because that was one of the first ones I watched, I'm kind of spoiled in that that's probably the best between that, Blair Witch, and like Paranormal Activity. I feel like those are the three
hmm
benchmarks. Um, but yeah, man, you could easily, I mean, movies get filmed on phones all the time. Like I haven't seen it yet, but 28 years later, like they used a
hmm
ton of cell phones for the footage they got.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, they
I
have this
still
like device. I'll see if I can find it on Twitter for you and send it, but it's like this like it looks like a horseshoe and they had like 50 iPhones recording certain scenes.
Wow, that's cool. I
Yeah.
yeah, I have to go see that. I haven't seen it yet, but well, you brought up Blair Witch. Like a lot of people think that was like the first like found footage horror movie, and in fact, it was The Last Broadcast. Have you seen this?
Uh-uh.
It's about the Jersey Devil.
Oh,
Um,
sick. I go hiking in the Pine Barrens all the time and I swear I hear the Jersey Devil at night. I really do.
Dude, that's so cool. I like want a paranormal like experience so bad. Um,
Yeah.
So that's badass. But yeah, that was like the first, like found footage. But Blair Witch obviously was like, you know,
What's the Jersey Devil one called? I gotta watch that.
the last broadcast.
Okay. When
Broadcast.
did that come out?
Oh, early 90s.
Okay.
It is on Tubi too, so if you want to check it out for free.
Oh,
Uh,
sick. Yeah. Tubi's a great like I was talking about Gil Bronco earlier. Like I don't know if you've seen it. It's called A Halloween Feast.
mm-mm.
That's on Tubi for free. We interviewed the
Um,
director a little while ago.
cool.
And yeah, he's the director and he also stars in it. But that's on Tubi for free. And he was telling me, a concern of directors is when you get something on Tubi, you feel like it goes there and it gets lost, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of does, right? And that's why like he created a TikTok and was like trying to promote it because one of the clips from the movies went viral. Um, so, if you know what you're looking for on Tubi, like there's another one called Teddy Told Me To, which I
I've
think you
seen
would
that one.
really, yeah, I interviewed
Yeah.
the guy that played Teddy. I interviewed him like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's so
Um,
cool.
yeah, he
'Cause
worked at,
that was a foreign movie, right?
no, they did it in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
It's a
It,
Tom. I don't know if you know the name. It's Tom Devlin. He owns so that's not the actor. That's the director and the writer. He owns a haunted house in Vegas. But he was on. Oh, I don't remember what it was called. It used to be on the Sci-Fi Channel. It was the um makeup contests, like horror makeup and stuff they would do.
yeah.
And he won that for his Teddy costume. So he was like, all right, I'm just going to make a movie. So he made a movie called Teddy Told Me To. And the guy that plays Teddy was actually just one of the attractions at the haunted house. And he cast him. It was his first ever movie. The dude's like in his 50s or early 60s. And he plays
Yeah.
the serial killer. And now he's an actor. So
That's so awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I had to check out the Halloween fest you said,
Halloween Feast.
Feast, and then yeah, Teddy. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie for the Teddy one. But see, the thing about Tubi is like there's a lot of shit on there too, So I
Yeah.
think if you have a good movie, like people will watch it, but it's like
They just have to hear about it. Like those two movies are great, but you wouldn't have heard about them unless I told you about them, and I wouldn't have heard about them unless they reached out. Like
Hmm.
that's the when you make a low budget movie and you don't have at least one big name actor, it's so hard to market your movie. So that's why you have to do it all yourself. Kind of like, he's not a horror director. He's made some horror movies, but like Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith,
Hmm.
completely funded Clerks and like just one like he goes around still doing showings at theaters and he sits there and talks to the audience because you have to market it yourself. If you're not someone like a Tarantino or a Scorsese, or you're not doing an IP everyone knows like Minecraft, like there's a lot of self promotion you have to do for these movies, but that gets you closer to the directors and stuff too.
For sure. And like, yeah, like to go back to the Blair Witch, like their marketing campaign. I mean, this was when like the internet was just starting up, but like it
Yeah.
was beautiful. I remember when even the Cartoon Network, right before I'd get back to the show, like they had Scooby Doo like talking about the Blair Witch. Do you remember this?
No, I
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, it was like little 3-minute skits of like the Scooby Gang like going into the woods in Maryland, and yeah, I mean the marketing campaign and the other one, it's not found footage, but how Longlegs did their
Yeah, Osgood
promotion
Perkins,
was
man.
just
I have, if you can see him back there, I have the monkey popcorn bucket. I'm obsessed with Osgood Perkins, man.
yeah, dude. I haven't seen that yet, but
Okay.
Longlegs, like I saw it twice in the theater, and usually I don't do that.
Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, and I think that's crucial to get people interested because trailers a lot of the times it's like they show like either all the good parts or like way too much,
Yeah, I
and
actually refuse to watch trailers ever since I started this because everything gets taken away. Like, I forget what movie it was, but like, The Amateur with Rami Malek. I don't know if you saw that. It came out earlier this year.
mm-mm.
But they show two of the four kills in the trailer. Like,
Uh,
so that ruins it
yeah,
for you?
yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, for some movies I could do that, but like for like when Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, like there was no way that I was, gonna skip those trailers. But in
Yeah,
Halloween Kills, the when Myers kills all the fighters,
yeah,
it was beautiful. But yeah, I mean they show that, in the trailer, and it's just like,
yeah,
man, if they wouldn't have, it would have been, way more awesome. But
yeah.
and this, Alex, this is also on Tubi, and I say it is a must, is Frankenstein's Army. Have you seen this movie?
No, uh-uh.
Oh my gosh. It's a found footage, and
Okay,
some Russian soldiers, they have to rescue someone, and this evil, of course, German scientist makes this army of like the most hideous, like scariest creatures I've ever seen. I am a grown man, okay, and I all I do is watch horror movies. I shit you not, I jumped 6 times watching this movie. Like it was beautiful. And yeah, I couldn't believe that I like have I just watched this movie like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this has been. I'm complete now as a human being after watching this movie. Like it
That's
was,
awesome.
yeah, dude, it was like terrifying. But yeah, what are some? Have you seen Megan is Missing?
Uh-uh. No, I don't know
Uh,
that.
Everyone talks about this movie, so I found it's on Tubi as well. So I
Okay.
finally watched it. But dude, I had to stop because the two girls in the movie are like 15, and
Oh,
yeah, dude, and they kind of like sexualize them. I mean, I
yeah.
get it. Like they were like, this is what happens in teens' lives. You know
Sure.
what I mean? And I mean the first like more than half of the movie is just like teen dialogue and just like, oh my gosh, like shut up. Uh, but I mean, and the ending, like I just had to shut it off because it's like really messed up things happens to one of the girls. So I don't even know how it ends, but I'm like, but everyone, I mean, raves about this movie. But yeah, it was just a little weird. I don't know. I'm sure the actors were over, like they weren't 15, but
Yeah.
it was. I just felt even watching it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Chris Hansen's gonna pop out of nowhere and be like, Chad. So I don't know.
Well,
It was a little
why don't
weird,
you
but
why don't you have a seat? Why don't you have a seat right here? That's how I felt about I think it was straight to TV. I'm not sure, but I saw it on TV. It's called The Girl Next Door. Um, it's about like I think it's based on a true story of like this lady takes in these two foster kids and like chains the one downstairs in the basement, lets her kids like rape her, and she's like 15. Like yeah,
wow.
it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, dude.
You
And
know, there's a difference between watching something like American Pie, where it's like seniors in high school that are like, just trying to get laid at prom,
mhm,
but like what you're saying is kind of how I feel about that show Euphoria. Like you're supposed to watch these things, but it's about teenagers and they're
yeah.
doing things that I don't care how old the actor is. Like it's weird and it's not for me. And I turned 30 this year. I don't need to be watching stuff like that. Like,
Yeah. No, and well, what's sad is like, well, when horror movies are really real, that's I kind of don't, like get into it, maybe because it just makes me sad because it's like this stuff actually happens to people.
yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean? Even like slashers when there's just like a human being, it's like I don't know. I mean, I'll watch them, but I
Yeah,
like the supernatural aspect because it's just like dude, we live in a messed up world, and then
yeah,
when I watch something like that, I'm like reminded of that it has happened to poor like innocent people, and it
yeah.
sucks.
Well,
It
and
makes
that's
me.
what movies are, right? Movies are an escape from reality. So I don't need to like be living in that reality, But there's even some like, we should get into it real quick though, because you talked about your favorite horror genre. Mine is horror comedies. Like
For
Simon
sure.
Pegg is by far my favorite actor of all time. So like the Cornetto trilogy, dude, like especially
Mhm.
Shaun of the Dead,
Yeah,
absolutely
dude,
adore that. Tucker and Dale versus Evil, like I fuck hard with that movie.
for sure.
That's why I wanted to like Clown in the Cornfield more because it was made by the same guy.
Hmm.
And I enjoyed Clown in the Cornfield for most of it, like I like the book. I had read the book. But yeah, horror comedies are where it's at. But you said about found footage, so I think we hop in. Do you have one you want to talk about starting off, or do you want me to start, or how do you want to do it?
Well, I brought up Frankenstein Army, so I'll definitely let you take one away.
Okay, cool. So the first one is one I watched last night. And this is the one that I don't love the movie, but I really love some of the things they did with filming it. So it's called Willow Creek. It came out in 2013. It's a Sasquatch found footage. Um, and so they actually went to the real place, Willow Creek, which is known for Sasquatch, what is that called? Like sightings.
Hmm.
And so what they did, they only had 10 people in the entire cast. Four of them were actual people playing themselves, and some of them didn't even know they were in a fictional movie. So like
Awesome.
yeah, so like they interviewed a lady in the town who just worked at a visitor center and the actor interviewed her in character and is
That's awesome.
asking her all these questions about Sasquatch. And he's like, "Have there been Sasquatch sightings lately?" And she's like, "Not that I know of." He's like, "Oh, well, do you believe in Sasquatch?" "No, no, I don't." And you can see the actor's
Yeah,
face like, "Shit." Like, "Oh
yeah.
no."
But why? I don't understand why you would like want to work at a place where like, people are asking questions about Bigfoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And
That's crazy.
if you have no belief in it or whatever.
Yeah.
But so, I really enjoyed most of the beginning of the movie because that's what it was. It's pretty short, that's another thing I love about horror movies. They're usually about 90 minutes. Like I love that I can pop a movie in like and just watch it quick, a succinct 90 minutes is great. Um, and then, there was a certain point in it where I don't want to spoil the movie for you, so I'm not going to do that. But like, they're trying to find this like legendary place that someone saw Sasquatch and wrote a book about it. So they go and they pitch a tent and they're staying overnight in this area. And there's a solid 25 minutes where the camera is just facing these two people in the tent and they just hear noises outside the tent every like 2 to 3 minutes. And that's all it is just their reactions to hearing it
Yeah.
for like 25 minutes. And dude, I was bored out of my mind.
Oh man.
I was
Yeah.
so bored. I almost turned it off, but I can't not finish a movie. I'm kind of like Cartman from that episode of South Park with I'm Sailing Away. He always has to finish the song. Like I have to
Hmm.
finish a movie. Um, and the final like 5 minutes of the movie like had me going like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, what just happened? So like it's definitely worth a watch for sure.
Well, at least you had that 5 minutes because nothing's worse than investing all that time into like especially found footage, and
Yeah.
then at the end you're like, are you serious? Like, what was that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what sucks about found footage too, is like I just invested, 80 minutes, and like the last 10 minutes. So I kind of like, have you seen Grave Encounters?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that movie, I mean, like I said earlier, like, I love watching ghost shows, ghost hunting shows. But
Yeah.
I thought like, they gave you a little bit here, they gave you a little bit there. And uh yeah, and then the end was just awesome too. So
Yeah.
yeah, nothing's worse than investing all that time. Just like, dude, that was, a waste of my life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't there's only been a couple movies I've watched this year that I just yesterday I finished my 202nd film I've watched in 2025. Like I've
Oh
watched an
wow.
insane amount of movies this year. And there's only been like one or two I was like, why can't I have my time back? Like why did I watch
Yeah.
this, you know?
Yeah. You were bringing up Bigfoot, and I think Bigfoot is a interdimensional creature. Like,
Sure.
he can hop in and out of our realm. And I've seen Hostile Dimensions, and
Uh,
it's on Tubi, like I said, and it's
Okay.
about these two chick filmmakers. And this woman goes missing, but it was through a door. So they track this door down, and they hop to all these dimensions. And for being a low budget movie, like the worlds are so cool, and it was
Oh, that's
shot so
awesome.
well. Yeah, and the acting was good, and yeah, I would definitely recommend that. I
Sure.
thought that was really cool. Um, and then I just watched Devil's Pass, which is about those hikers in the 40s or 50s in Russia that went on that mountain, and
The
they,
ones
they all
didn't come back.
disappeared.
Those ones? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
I've
found them like all weird and stuff.
yeah.
It was these new filmmakers that wanted to do that same hike, and that was really crazy and really good. And like I said, you didn't have to wait for like the last 10 minutes too. And it's crucial too, with the acting, it was really good and the dialogue was awesome. So yeah, those were two recently found footage that I really got into for sure.
Nice. My next one is probably not one you'd expect on a found footage list because it's not really a found footage film, but I consider it like a pseudo found footage, and that's the first Sinister movie.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
because like, some of the most captivating moments of that movie were on the Super 8 camera, like the actual footage he found looking at all that
Hmm.
stuff. With
Yeah.
I
Way to
cannot
think outside the box,
yeah,
Alex.
right,
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
What's the demon's name in that? I can't remember.
Bazooz, no, that's the Exorcist. Starts with a B.
Yeah. Bagul,
Bagul.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
Bagul. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that's one and I heard it on another podcast. I don't know how accurate it is. I haven't looked into it, but like I believe he's not a pagan god, like an actual pagan god or pagan, deity or anything.
Hmm.
So we talk about original movies. That's a super original movie. And I had my issues with it. Like again, I love horror movies. One thing I don't like are jump scares for no reason. I
Hmm.
love jump scares if they help. Like, did you watch Bring Her Back this year?
Not yet. I
Oh,
want to so
dude,
bad.
you got to see it. Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta see it. But there's one jump scare in that movie to me, I think, and it was the only time in the past 15 years my jaw was legitimately on the ground.
yeah,
Like
that's
I say
awesome.
that a lot about movies that my jaw was on the floor. Dude, I'm pretty sure there was popcorn from the floor in my mouth at that moment. Like
That's
yeah, it was
awesome.
sick.
Heck
Hey,
yeah.
did you see their first movie, the Philippou brothers did, Talk to
Talk
Me?
to me. Yeah, that move.
Dude, so good.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Honestly, like, kind of like a fresh idea, but how they executed it was awesome. And I love movies too that like from the beginning there's like a quick like intro to like, hey, this is what the rest of the movie is gonna be like, you
Yeah,
know?
kind of like a
And
TV show that shows you like the cold open, right? Like
yes,
I
exactly.
love movie cold opens. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that movie is amazing. So yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I have to see Bring Her Back.
Yeah. It's very, very different from Talk to Me. But it's so good. Like those dudes can make whatever they want to make. I'll watch it. So,
See, and that's why too I respect them already because it's like, you said it's a different movie, and it's like they're like, hey, we don't have to like do the same thing. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We're confident in our like writing and directing that, we can do something, totally different and still make it work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's
Yeah.
like
And
awesome.
that should give guys like you and I hope because those two dudes started as YouTube creators making skits
Hmm.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, and now they're making these, incredible movies for A24.
Yeah. And yeah, A24 too is just like, thank God for them. They
They
have produced like a lot.
revolutionized.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Especially
I was
horror, man. Like
yeah.
The X series, all the movies with Ari Aster, like Hereditary, Midsommar,
Hmm.
like A24, The Heretic that came out last year. Like, yeah, A24 is killing it.
Yeah, and like you said too, like yeah, it definitely gives you some hope. It's like, hey, if these guys can do it, like, you know, we can do it too.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't want to do anything else. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
truly, truly don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything you else you do is supplemental to what you really want to do, which is that, you
hmm
know?
yeah. And two, like, well, it's like, like you said, found footage. I mean, you can film it on your phone. Like, it's so doable, right? You just
Yeah.
gotta, keep at it. And like, especially these two other found footage videos that I've seen on Tubi is Deadware and Livestream.
I've
And
seen live
it's,
stream. Live
yeah,
stream's cool.
and for
Yeah.
like such a simple concept, like I thought they could have got like a better actor for like the first for the main guy, but
Sure.
still like it I was entertained, and it just, a live streamer,
Yeah.
a live stream gamer who, finds that game gets sent to him, and I was like, I thought it was legit. Deadware is kind of like the same thing, but it's two friends playing a game.
Okay.
Um, and I would say that was a little better of a movie. Well, two, I mean, there was two characters instead of like pretty much in live stream with just that one guy. But it's about a game too, and I just thought like I was like, man, seeing this, like I was like, oh, this is doable for sure.
Yeah.
To make your own.
Yeah. That sounds like did you see that found footage movie called Unfriended where they're all
Mm,
on the Zoom call? Like,
yeah,
yeah, that looks super easy. And that movie, like especially the very end, scared the shit out of me, dude. Like that was great.
I seen that movie once, and it's definitely been a minute. But yeah, definitely, I still remember the ending because he gets, spoiler alert, but he gets like buried or something, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like everyone on the call is like because it's about this girl who used to be their friend that they had bullied and she killed herself. And now her spirit is coming back to kill all of them.
nice,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah, and like Shudder did the Host, which was kind of like the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, yeah, like I said, like found footage is just, I don't know, it's such a just an awesome way to for, yeah, like filmmakers to kind of like do their own thing. And
Yeah.
like I said earlier, it's my favorite subgenre, but I don't know. Like I ask myself why, because like there's a lot of garbage out there,
Sure.
but like if you find that good one, like the Hell House LLC
Yeah, there's a
franchise,
there's a new one coming out this year I saw too.
yeah, this one looks like kind of like how you said with Sinister. I think it's
Yeah.
like found footage, like, and then it's also like not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that looks really good. Because the one before that, like it was a prequel. It was okay. Like
Sure.
I would say out of all of them, like that was the fourth one. Like it was the weakest in my opinion. But I mean the other three are just like I
Awesome.
absolutely love them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I try to watch them every like Halloween time. You
Okay.
know. Um. So yeah, I just think. And then of course, like Halloween obviously is my favorite time of year, and I spend a lot of money, for like haunted houses.
Yeah.
And the houses that October built, well, the first one I thought was like amazing. I
Hmm.
try to watch that one every year too. But dude, there is nothing more in life that I would love to do is get a couple of my friends, get an RV and just drive the country going to haunted houses.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
like if I ever win the lottery, like I'm doing that for sure.
So one
Um,
you have to do, and I'll go with you because it's very close to me, is Field of Screams.
Field of Screams.
Field of Screams is like probably the most popular one on the East Coast, and I used to work at a food truck there. It's only like an hour from my house. Um,
Okay.
it's awesome, dude. It's these two teachers that opened a haunted house, and now they own like half the town because they make so much money from this haunted house. And
I
like Teddy
bet.
Teddy told me to, the movie I was telling you about,
Yeah.
they're interviewing people to like be a part of the attractions at the haunted house. And one of the guys says I used to work at Field of Screams. So like
Oh,
it's pretty well known. Like
heck yeah. Oh yeah, dude, that would be awesome. I just saw an ad on Craigslist for this haunted house, and it's interactive. And she said like there's people on the trail that'll help you, but you don't know if you can trust them. And I was
yeah.
like, yes, like that's what I want to do, you
Yeah.
know? Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, and
Uh,
you'll have to make like a couple weeks of it probably in Pennsylvania for stuff because like we have haunted penitentiaries and stuff here like used to be old like mental
I went to
asylums and stuff like
the prison one. That's in
near
Pennsylvania, right?
near Philadelphia. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I went to that one when I lived in DC. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that one's sick. And there's some that like you have to sign waivers for because like they can like bury you alive and like yeah, they go kind of all out around here.
Dude, I will send you pictures. I went to one in LA this year, oh last year. It's called 17 Doors. And you had
Okay.
to sign a waiver, or if you didn't sign the waiver, you had to wear a glow stick.
Mm.
And the first room, it was 17 rooms. The first room was a barber shop, and they shaved a 17 in the back of my head. Yeah, I didn't. He was like, I'm just gonna take a little bit off, right? And dude, so I went to work the next day, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? You can't have a 17 shaved in the back of your head. And they're about to send me home, but I was like, I'll fix it, tonight. But dude, that was cool. That was really cool. And real quick, like there was only one part where I was like terrified, and they're like, everyone against the wall, and you went against this wall, and it was really thin, like wood. And so you're against the wall, and this thing closes over you, over you, and it like suctioned your face and your body, dude. I could not breathe for. I mean, I would say it was like 15 seconds that they had
Oh
this,
my gosh.
and then on top of that, the wood was so thin they were tasing you on the in the back. Yeah, dude, and that was the only thing I didn't like because it's like I didn't know what they were doing and I couldn't breathe. But yeah, dude, that was cool, and that was the first one so far where like yeah, I had to sign a waiver, but I'm like, I'm like, dude, let's go.
Now that you conquered that, you can probably take them all on, you know?
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'm so every year on 420 we go to the Pine Barrens where the New Jersey Devil is. I'm gonna make everyone we go with watch the last broadcast before we go.
Dude, check it out. Cause like, I mean, you could tell, like, I mean, it was the three main actors who were like, hey, let's make this movie. I mean, and
Yeah,
they're young. And, for being an older movie and found footage, like
pretty
they made it
revolutionary,
work.
right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, to do it like that.
And yeah, and like I said, I mean that was like the real, like first found footage movie because the Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity, like the idea for the studio was like, hey, we have this movie, now let's like, use this movie for like a reference and make our own. But
Yeah.
they ended up like sticking with, just what they bought. And I mean, yeah, dude, it they made it work. Like even Paranormal Activity, was it Spielberg that was like that movie terrified me,
Yeah, I
you
think it
know?
was. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you have a director like that, like and the first one was good actually, Paranormal Activity. But
Yeah, I really liked it. There was one that came out, is it Kin or something like that? Came out a couple years ago that I thought was okay. It's on Paramount.
yeah, I
Um,
haven't seen that one yet, but
yeah,
um
it's interesting. I like stuff about like Amish communities and stuff just because I grew up around them, you know.
yeah, and you have that killer loose in your neighborhood
Yeah,
too.
yeah, good old axe breaker. Yeah.
Yeah, X-Breaker.
We're talking about it's not really found footage, but it feels like it because it was entirely filmed on a cell phone. It's called Unsane. Have you seen that?
Unsane? Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's Steven Soderbergh. It came out in 2018, but it's entirely filmed on a cell phone. I saw that in theaters when I was in college. That tripped me out pretty good.
Unsane. Yeah, no, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, I think it's free on like Fandango at home and stuff. So,
Okay. And
but
like, and I feel like you can't talk about found footage if you don't bring up the VHS movies.
sure.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, even the newest one that came out maybe like 8 months ago, I
yeah.
thought was pretty good. Um, and I think Shudder owns VHS like the franchise now, and yeah, I mean I think they're really good, especially the first one. I remember watching the first one, um, and that first story, like I was like kind of like, oh shit, like I made sure that the hallway light, like I was like, I'm just gonna turn this on. And
Yeah.
so and like I said, not a lot of movies do that, so when
Yeah.
they do, I'm like, bravo, bravo.
Yeah. And I don't know how you feel about it. I've talked about this on a couple of our other podcasts, but I believe for two reasons that a movie theater is the best place, not only to experience a movie, but especially a horror movie. Um, because first and foremost, horror movies I feel like are better with a crowd because you
For
have the
sure.
reactions and everything. But also for
Hmm.
guys like me that are kind of chicken shits, despite how much I love horror movies, it's
Hmm.
nice that the movie's over, you can get your car, drive home and decompress, right? Like when
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home and I watch something super scary at like midnight, then it's like, all right, I gotta turn every light on as I go downstairs. Like, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. Like, and you're paying attention to like every noise. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I swear my dog, like I have a little beagle and he's always just staring like into the kitchen. I swear he
Mhm.
sees ghosts. And of course, the nights I watch these trippy horror movies, he does that and he'll just start barking at stuff. I'm like, tonight is not the night, dude. I don't need to see Bagul hanging out. Like the night I watched Hereditary, I know people shit on Hereditary. There's a moment in Hereditary that is the scariest thing I've ever seen in a movie. And it's with the mom up in the corner when like she's up in the corner of the room, like when she's possessed by that demon. Like that's horrifying to me, dude. Like, and
Yeah.
occasionally when I'm real tired and I look up, I swear I see her face in the corner of the room.
Yes, especially when like toked up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
You feeling
especially,
it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, especially
No,
then.
I definitely like those movies, like the artsy, horror
Yeah,
movies. Like I love The Witch. I
Oh, The
think that's
Witch is
kind of up
great.
there as, you know, like a
Yeah.
artsy.
Robert
Uh,
Eggers is awesome, dude. Like his
yeah,
Nosferatu that just came out was so cool.
it was beautiful. I
Yeah.
actually really enjoyed it,
Yeah,
you know?
visually stunning. It was okay as a
Yeah,
movie, but visually was just off the charts.
yeah. Um, I mean, usually, like I said, those movies are not my cup of tea, but I still respect them and, you know, enjoy them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And two, it's cool that, you know, Hollywood's is kind of like, you know, they invest, they put money into, you know, a really high budget horror movie like that because it's just like, you know, beautiful, you know, and
right.
the storyline and stuff like that. Like, yeah, for sure. And that had
Yeah.
like really, you know, I mean, A-list stars in it too.
Yeah, dude, Willem Dafoe, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
And that one guy, he's who was in that movie, he was also in Renfield. I forget his name, but you know,
Nicholas Holt.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's starting to become like a. He was in Warm Bodies as well, like you know,
Yeah,
kind of like
he's
a
kind of like a vampire icon. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Because usually, I mean, it's just kind of like chicks, you know, who are kind of like oh horror movie like icons, but and
Yeah.
he's like a brilliant actor too, for sure.
Yeah. He's awesome.
So yeah, so it's kind of cool to have like a dude. Because I was the last Friday the 13th, I was watching Jason Lives, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, Tommy is probably like the most popular like final boy or whatever you want
Sure.
to say. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because there's not like too many.
No. Yeah, it's usually if there is
It's,
a final, it's a final girl, like that's the
yeah,
thing.
you know, you got Ash and then you got Tommy. And that's really all I can like think of.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You talk about like Shudder and stuff. It's cool that Shudder is releasing movies in theaters first for the most part. Like I think their most recent one was Dangerous Animals, the Jai Courtney one about sharks.
Mm,
Um that's pretty cool. It's kind of artsy, but it's also a Shudder original, so it's not real high budget, you know?
hmm
And it's cool because, this year is the 50th anniversary of Jaws. So it was
hmm
cool that like a shark horror movie came out like 2 months before the anniversary.
Yeah, like besides Jaws, like that, and that's my mom's favorite movie. So, but like I can't get into shark movies. I can't.
Yeah.
Like I want to, but I don't know what it is. But maybe because I live in LA and I'm like every time I go in the ocean, I'm like terrified. So maybe it hits
Sure.
too close to home. But
I I I think because I've heard a lot of people saying that about why they're not seeing this movie. This movie is much more about a serial killer, and there just happens to be sharks.
yeah, it's a
Kind of like,
cool like different
yeah,
aspect for sure.
yeah, kind of like some episodes of The Walking Dead. Like it's people trying to live their lives, and oh hey, there's zombies, right? Like it's
Yeah,
kind of like that.
true. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I think
Um,
you'd mess with Dangerous Animals. It's gonna
yeah, I
come on
mean, like
Shudder, so
that's like a cool you know, different idea for sure. I would
yeah.
definitely watch that. But like Sharknado or whatever, I'm like,
Oh yeah, sure.
and I love cheesy like movies, you
Yeah,
know, but I'm like, but
yeah,
Shudder has come a long way,
sure.
for sure. Um, I mean, I love Joe Bob.
Mm,
He's the reason when I was growing up. I'm a little older than you. I don't know, maybe still you were like around, but like he used to do Monster Vision on TNT,
sure. Yeah, I
and
know that.
I was like a early teen, maybe like 11, 12, 13, and he really like upped my love for horror. I remember like begging my parents, like, please let me stay up till like midnight, I think.
Yeah.
And when he came back to Shudder, I'm like, oh hell yeah. Uh, but yeah, I mean, probably Shudder is the only streaming service I pay for. So,
Yeah,
uh, you know, so yeah, dude. Because
that's
it's
cool.
Shudder's 10-year anniversary this year too. So,
Oh wow,
but
I didn't realize it was already 10 years. There's one on there I really want to see, The Ugly Stepsister, I think it's called. It's a
hmm
Cinderella horror movie that just came out this year.
hmm
I've heard that movie's awesome, so I'm gonna check it out.
Earlier you said like you have to finish a movie. I'm kind of like the opposite. I mean, if it's good, I will finish it. But usually, and I don't know if it's my ADD too, but I watch, like three movies. I'm like, okay, I'm bored of this. I'll go back to this one.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I thought of that because I started watching that movie and I haven't finished it. So,
Oh.
but I mean, so,
I'm
so far it was so good.
I'm like that with because I've got ADD pretty hardcore too. I'm like that with TV shows. Like I'll watch a couple episodes, get bored, and go to something else. But I don't really watch TV shows for the most part anymore, just because there's so. I try to see every movie that releases in theaters. So
Awesome.
that's kind of a that takes up a lot of time, you know.
For sure. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I talked about it a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts on it. So my last found footage movie that, I watched today to get ready for this was Cloverfield, man. Um I thought this movie was so insanely good. I do think that TJ Miller like definitely can take the cake for most annoying character in a film ever as Hudson, the dude with
Yeah.
the camera. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I wanted so badly for him to die the whole movie. I was like, dude, just stop talking. Like, all
Yeah.
you're doing
But
is talking.
it's crazy because like yeah, he's that like annoying slash likable character
Yeah,
in the other movies. I haven't seen that movie in a minute, but I definitely remember that movie when it came out and
yeah.
yeah, I mean I liked it. And I mean I think the best one in the franchise is not found footage, but 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, I bought that. It's right behind me. I haven't watched it yet. It's John
Oh
Goodman, right? Isn't John Goodman in
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
And
not found footage. I didn't know that.
yeah, no. And I think the studio kind of was like, hey, we could use this as like, we could change a couple things and make it tie into the universe. But whatever, like it's an amazing movie. I mean, John Goodman, yeah, he's awesome. And then I also have a crush on the main actress that is in that movie. But it's really good. But yeah, I gotta revisit the original movie for sure. Because like I mean,
Yeah,
I believe in aliens too, so it
sure.
might be like a good like preparation for when it actually happens, you know,
Right. Yeah.
like a survival like
Yeah.
movie for sure. So yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, it's cool, right? And one thing I loved about it was the idea of like, the whole reason it's a found footage movie is because the one main character is going away, right? He's moving. It's kind of the same storyline as Adam Sandler's Big Daddy. A dude's moving to Asia and they're having a surprise party for him, and
Yeah.
they're recording it, but you find out about 20 minutes in that they're using that guy's camcorder and he had a tape in of a night he had previously with this girl that they're recording over. So some cool parts of the movie were like we'd be seeing what's going on and then it would snap like an old VHS tape
Mm,
to the old
get that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, to whatever had happened before, and then it would snap you back in. I thought that was so beautifully done because anyone that knows anything about tapes is like, oh, dude, that used to happen. Like I had a recording of Robin Hood Men in Tights that I recorded
Mhm.
off ABC Family when I was 5, and I recorded over it for like a Power Rangers episode or something. And there were those moments that it like overlapped.
Yeah. Um,
So,
well, man, you gave me a lot of recommendations. I wrote that down again. I was like, man, I gotta like definitely revisit that. Yeah,
yeah.
because yeah, that's a really cool concept. Because too, um, we brought it up earlier, like commercials on Tubi and stuff. Sometimes I like it because I'm able to like snap out of like the movie for a quick sec,
Sure.
and then go back to it. So
Yeah.
with that movie, with that concept, it's like, it's not just one, storyline. Like, they kind of throw that in there for a little bit and then boom.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but especially if you get to see some boobs, and then like back to like
Sure.
scary aliens, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget what the term is, but there's a term in movies where it's like, it's something really heavy is going on and then they put something light in there just to like let you decompress for a second before they hit you with
Hmm.
something really heavy again. And that's kind
Yeah.
of what it feels like in this because it's like, oh, someone's about to die. Oh, look, a hot chick. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
back to someone gonna die,
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Uh, yeah, so yeah, definitely. And then yeah, you said Teddy told me to, and then Horror Feast. I think honestly, just from looking at the titles, Horror Feast is probably going to be the first one that
yeah,
I
check
watch.
this out.
Or Halloween Feast, I'm sorry.
So the director and I were talking for a while before we did the interview, and
Hmm.
he sent me this super high definition poster of the movie that I'm going to put up here in the podcast studio. But
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, you being a horror guy, do you know Lynn Lowry?
Not top of the
Have you
head, no.
seen have you seen Shivers? David Cronenberg Shivers?
It sounds familiar.
Okay, that's from like I think it was the 70s or 80s.
Oh,
That's where
then
that's
no.
where she came into prominence. But she's like the goddess of B-rate horror movies. And
Okay.
she plays the lead in that movie. So
Yeah, I'd probably
yeah.
do that tonight for sure.
Yeah, check out a Halloween Feast and then yeah, go on our YouTube and watch the interview with him. He's amazing. He's so cool. And he's talking about coming out to the East Coast to film a movie, and I was like, "Hey, dude, even if you just want me to hold someone's coffee, like I'll be involved in the movie." Like,
Heck yeah, dude. That's so awesome. Yeah. Um, oh, so how did you just like, found him on TikTok? You're like, hey, you want to come on my podcast? I mean, how'd you go about doing
so
that?
the page is called a Halloween Feast movie. And he was actually just reaching out to people he like came across on his For You page that reviewed
Okay.
movies and was like, "Hey, you should
Awesome.
check out my movie." And I was like, "All right, I'll watch it, but would you like to come on the podcast and talk about it?" And at first I thought it was a scam because it looked like one of
Hmm.
those scammer accounts, you know.
Yeah.
But then, he sent me his email and it was the actual guy's name and we set it up and yeah, we had to like just stop recording because the podcast went so long.
Oh, dang. That's cool as
So
hell though.
yeah, yeah, he's
Yeah.
sick. So,
Heck yeah.
but
No,
right on, dude. Well, hey, this was fun. We'll have to do this again.
for
Um,
sure, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I had a blast and definitely, you know your shit. So. Oh yeah, Alex.
right on,
Yeah,
dude.
and I
Well,
knew we kind of vibe because, like I said, my TikTok videos are, the sense of humor of like a 13-year-old, boy hitting puberty, and
yep.
we're digging them. So I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna be friends.
So yeah, yeah, hopefully this will not be the last time you come on here. So we'll have to do like a full movie review for something coming out. Maybe the next found footage movie, maybe the new Hell House. We can get on and review that together. So
That'd be awesome, Alex, for sure.
cool.
Well,
All right,
yeah,
man.
thanks for inviting me, bro. I appreciate it.
You got it, absolutely. And keep busting ass and we'll make sure to share anything you post. And like I say, I'll send you this so you can do whatever you want with it on your end. So
Heck yeah. All right,
cool.
awesome,
Uh,
Alex. Thank you so
all right.
much.
You got it. Well, hey, this has been the Real Friends Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.